Bone to roll, shoulder of pork. Doesn't look very nice at the moment, does it? A lot of people cook it on the bone, but load of rubbish. Fat is the flavour, not the bone. Right, I'm back. The end of your pork ribs there, thick end of belly, whatever you want to call it. It's called the hand of pork. A bit there, hand of pork, but we don't trim that out for sausage and diced pork. Right. Whilst it's on the bone, it's easier to score it. It's a solid lump. Once you take the bone out, it all flops all over the place. So that's when you score it with a standing knife. Hopefully sharp. It's not too bad. Nice finely scored. So all the salt when you put it on, don't put salt on at the beginning. Cook it for at least half hour, then pull it out. Spoon some of its own fat on the top of it, then sprinkle the salt on it. Sticks to it better.
And what about crackling? People can't.
Yeah, just put the salt on halfway through.
Yeah, but what about temperature?
Oh right, hot. Yeah, don't slow roast. A load of rubbish. Nice and hot.
Okay.
Or you do want a slow roast, knock an hour off the cooking time, and then have it really hot at the end. 200, 220, top half of the oven, then it'll crackle better. Right. Bone it out.
So just let people know, some people watching, what we're doing.
Oh, well, I know sheep bone in the neck bone. I say it doesn't look very appetising at the moment. And some people just whip the bone out and tie it up. So-called butchers like, you know. And you've got to trim it all properly.
So even though, I mean, this is shoulder, it's one of the fattier pork joints, and yet you still trim it all.
Well, yeah, there's a difference between fat and gristle, isn't there?
Yeah.
So, you get the fat is good. Fat gives it flavour, but gristle is thick and chewy, which, as we've explained before on the sirloin and fillet ones. Bone out there. Now we're getting the shoulder blade bone. It's shaped like that. It's going down through there, but luckily we don't tunnel it. We just go in from the side like that. Again, a lot of it's, I'm applying more pressure on it with this hand as opposed to the knife. I'm just leaning the knife up against it. Just forget to explain what I'm doing.
That's when you've got a super sharp knife, because.
And again, this way, I'm pushing down with that hand. That's applied. It's making that tight, so that when I run the knife up against it, so I'm not applying pressure with that, which will make it jump, and that's when you could cut yourself. That bone out. Right. Okay, let me start. See all this, all that's got to come out. It's all slimy, horrible gristle. Yeah. A little bit of bone left there. That comes off. I mean, sometimes even if there's a load of good clean fat in there, if it's disproportionate, we still take it off. People paying for too much fat. Through the seam of the meat here. See what's in here, that doesn't look very nice. We'll take that out in one.
What do you do with all the bits that you're
Well,
trimming out?
well, this is a bit boring, but I mean, I trim that out. And basically, just trim all the main bits off it, and it's like that. For example, for hang on. Basically, waste, and 75 visually lean sausages.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically, I won't bore you with that now. Trim the bones up and whatever, trim that out for diced pork and sausages. It all takes time. I think people think that it just
buy it in that way.
Which we don't, obviously.
No.
We've got a thick bit of fat here, so we're just going to trim back on this end. Pork chops go onto this end, so the loin goes down that end. That's the neck of the head end now. And then it's a really thick bit here. So what we do is peel back as close to the meat and fat as possible. And then cut in that way. See where we scored it. That comes out. Now we've got all the horrible bits out, still enough in there for flavour. So now looks a bit more appetising now,
yeah,
doesn't it?
It's a bit more like people see in the window now.
Helps to get pork nice and tight, it cuts better then. And cutting joints off it, cut the string nice and short. So what I'm going to do is what we call backfilling it. So I've got one there, I'm going to put one there and one there, it creates a bulge. And when I put the other two in, it presses the bulge out, makes the strings tighter naturally.
Okay. And that holds the joint together better so that when
Yeah,
you
well,
carve
it's
it,
very rarely you sell a whole bit, so one customer have one bit, the other one have the other end, but it'll all flop and fall apart otherwise.
yeah.
So what I've done that is pushed that up, so now when I put another one in there, it will apply pressure to all the strings and make them naturally tighter anyway. As opposed to hurting my hands trying to pull the string too tight.
Thank you. What's that?
Eh?
What's that?
Bone rolled shoulder of pork. So there's a two in the middle and another one in the middle, and then one each end, and that'll be it. Last one.
So do 15 pounds and 5 fish and chips,
Straighten the ends up. bone and rolled shoulder of pork. Nice clean fat and all the gristle trim there. Clean fat for flavour. There you go.